live now. But can you see that it's yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll just wait for a couple of minutes and we should start it. Yeah. Okay. डब्बा बंद कर दो. Start? Yeah. Okay, so good evening, everyone. This is Arijeet Roy, representing the Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee of the TISS HRM and LR program. Today, I am joined by Anshul, and together we will be taking you through the complete application process of the TISS HRM and LR program. And in addition to that, we'll be discussing how's life at TISS, right? And what all we have achieved, what all we want to do in the future as Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee. So now I'll like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Arijeet Roy, and I have completed my graduation in mathematics. Right now, I'm a first-year student at the TISS HRM and LR program, and I am a member of the Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee. Now, I would ask Anshul to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Anshul Khatri and I am from Amaravati, Maharashtra, and I have done my bachelor's in computer science. I am currently pursuing the TISS HRM and LR program, and I am also in the first semester. So we would like to begin the presentation.
Yeah, so first of all, we have a presentation in which we will be presenting what all we do, what all we have done as students of TISS HRM and LR, and why you should be considering TISS, as a B school, or why you should pursue an HRM and LR program here at TISS. So yeah, let me just present the screen.
I think we can present it from here.
Yeah. Share screen.
Is it visible?
It's visible.
Visible now.
Okay.
Yes.
So it is visible. So, like I said, this presentation that we are doing, it will cover all the aspects that we want to discuss, and it will smoothen the journey of an individual as when is navigating through this process of joining the TISS HRM and LR program. So the things we want to discuss right now will be life at TISS, right? How the life of an individual here at TISS, the application process and the problems that one might face during the application process, the selection criteria. Like we all know, from this year, TISS will be accepting CAT, right, for the HRM and LR program, not CUET like last year, or like TISSNet, like we used to do in the previous year, right? And in addition to that, we'll be taking questions from the live comment section, and we've got pre-registered queries as well. Some of the questions that we can think of, questions that are very frequently asked from us. So we'll be discussing all those questions. So now Anshul will take over now.
Right. So first we will briefly introduce what is TISS. When we talk about the TISS brand, how it was established, what was the story behind this TISS. So TISS was established back in 1936 as the Sir Dorabji Tata Graduate School of Social Work. After that, it was accorded the deemed university status in 1964. Currently, we are having 4 campuses across 4 cities and 69 programs offered in total. The Mumbai campus being the most prominent one, where the most of the courses they are centered. We have got excellent infrastructure, which is conducive to learning and growth. When we talk about learning and growth, we talk about the holistic aspect of everything. And we feel really proud that we have been rated grade AAA with a score of 3.89 out of 4, which is almost nearing to perfect by the NAAC back then in 2016.
So now I would like to talk about the Human Resource Management and Labor Relations program in particular. So this program started as a social work specialization in labor welfare and industrial relations. And in 1967, an independent degree program named PMIR, which has got a really strong alumni network connection. The people who graduated from those years are sitting at some of the most esteemed positions of various organizations today. And then in 2006, the PMIR changed to HRM and LR, which is the current program that we are pursuing right now. And it is a real honor to be a part of this HRM program, since it is one of the most sought after and one of the best HRM programs, not just in this country, but in the entire Asia Pacific region. Right? And in addition to that, it is the only Indian institute that have its course accredited by the Society for Human Resource Management, that is SHRM. So people who are into HRM will know what SHRM is and what it means to the folks of it. And in addition to that, this was featured in the Great Indian Institutes of 2018 Forbes Marquee Edition, which is an initiative by Great Place to Study. Yeah.
Right. So when I talk about the pedagogy, the first thing is the foundational courses and the CBCS electives. So talking about the foundational courses, whenever like when you join TISS, irrespective of whatever program you are currently enrolled in, you have to complete the mandatory foundation courses. These foundational courses relates to the idea of India, it relates to the constitution, it relates to the gender. So it basically right from the day when you will be in an environment where your knowledge won't be restricted to a particular course. Rather, the entire institute will try to bring that complete growth inside you, right? The second is the CBCS electives, which we recently had. So the CBCS electives, it basically refers that apart from the coursework, the core coursework which you are currently enrolled in, you will be given opportunities to choose electives from other courses as well. So you have got courses from psychology, you have got courses from disaster management. There's like all the courses which helps you become a better person. So when you talk about HRM and LR, if you want to take a course with psychology, so eventually psychology is a human centric, which will eventually help you in becoming a better HR leader. The second aspect is the fieldwork, which is also the USP of this and is the only college which actually provides you fieldwork. So fieldworks are basically that across 4 semesters, you will be having 4 fieldworks in 4 different organizations. So by the end of this entire coursework, you will be working in 5 different organizations. From talking from a fresher point of view, having an experience of 5 organizations before stepping into actual corporate world goes a long way. So fieldworks are one of the most important aspects which we particularly focus on. It's basically your the bridge between the classroom learning and what happens actually on ground. And the last part is the dissertation. Yeah, so the last part is the dissertation, which also only a couple of colleges provide. So dissertation is basically the research-oriented aspect of this. So it starts right from your second semester and it goes up to your fourth semester. And it's not necessary that you have to take a research topic only from the HRM. You can take any topic. We have got resources, faculties, which you can talk about.
In addition to that, we have got an NGO stint, which is a month-long stint at an NGO after the fourth semester. So it is done in order to expose the students to the social responsibilities that they have to bear as an individual, right? So we do not only focus on the corporate aspect of things, but also on the social aspect of things. Then the courses that we study here are designed to create leaders. I remember one of our faculties told me this, that it is not a B school, it is a leadership school. So the courses that we do, the things that we do, it creates leaders, it nurtures leaders, right? So and it is evident from the kind of alumni network we have got, the kind of people this college produces, and this course produces in particular, right?
Slides are changing. The slides aren't changing.
Slides aren't changing.
Yeah, the slides aren't changing.
Showing here.
Now, can I change? It will change completely.
Sorry for the technical hiccup, guys. Just a second.
Okay, it's changing now.
It's changing now.
Hopefully. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Still not changing.
Okay. Okay.
Guys, just give us a
Just give
second
us a second, like.
before we fix the technical hiccup. Change?
Yeah. Yeah, it's changing.
It's changing.
It's changing. It's
Yes,
changing.
it's
It's changing.
changing.
It's much internet issue. Yeah. Yeah. So like I was saying, the course that we have here is designed to create leaders in the domain of HR, and the course is not only limited to the scope of HR. We have got a fine mix of courses from marketing, finance, operations, and other areas as well. Like when I'm in where I am doing my field work, the organization allows me to learn things not only from an HR perspective, but also from the perspective of operations, marketing, finance as well. So the exposure that we get, like I said, it's unparalleled, and like Anshul mentioned, the field work. So no other institute provides that and those kind of opportunities for its students. And international exposure. So we've got exchange programs where we collaborate with international institutions to provide international exposure to our students, which enriches our viewpoints, and it enriches us as an individual, right? And rural immersion program, again, another USP of TISS, where we have to bear responsibilities of the rural world as well, right? So we do not limit ourselves. We do not see ourselves just as a corporate person sitting in a glass chamber, right? So yeah.
Yeah, so these are some of our fieldwork recruiters. These are definitely not an exhaustive list per se, but these are like few of the prominent recruiters who always give us opportunities in across all the four fieldworks.
Yeah. And the opportunities that are there. So we do not only rely on the placement processes, the summers and final placements. Of course, they are important parts of our course, but those are not the only opportunities that are provided here at the TISS HRM and LR program. So like some of the events you can see here, which have been uh, so people have been placed through these events as well. There's Head Start. We can see Conundrum here. Various organizations conduct their own events in order to hire the best talent here from TISS HRM and LR program. So yeah.
The next we want to talk about is the industry exposure. So when we talk about this, the program started back in 1960s, right? So over the period of time, we have got a huge batch of alums, as we say, and these alums they always they are always ready to give us guest lectures. And these alums are at esteemed positions. They know the industry inside out. So we really benefit from these guest lectures, from these, it's like innovative works. And yeah, it's a very great thing to be a part of this legacy.
Again, some of the companies that visit us for our summer placements, you can see some no really good names there, right? They've got Amazon, Nestle, TAS, and some of the most sought after companies come here for the summer placements, as well as the final placements. So now.
Yeah, so these are the summer placements figures for the batch of 25. The number of students participating was 71, and the number speaks for themselves. So we have got a highest stipend at 4.5. These figures are for the entire 2 months, and we have got a median stipend of 3 with an average stipend of 2.8. So yeah, when I talk about ROI, these numbers are one of the best you will find across the HR as well as across the entire business schools.
And these are some of our final recruitments who come for the final placement processes. Again, some big names you'll find here, right? Which makes the placement process very lucrative, very exciting for all of us, and it makes sure that our students go to the some of the best places in order to work, right? Again, life at TISS. So the kind of culture that we have here at TISS, it is really enriching. We've got people from different social backgrounds. We've got people from different cultural backgrounds, and it is kind of a melting pot of cultures. We celebrate all festivals together, and like all these events teach us a lot as well as an individual.
Hope the slides are changing right now,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong.
Can you guys let us know in the comment section if the slides are
That if you
changing?
can see the slides, slides are not changing.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, can you see the slides? Okay, I guess you can see the slides if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's
It's not
changing,
changing in
right?
presentation mode, I guess.
Yeah, we are facing an issue when we are going for the presentation.
Presentation. It's not changing.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
So when I talk about, as I said earlier, that over the period of time we have built a very strong alumni base, and you take whatever organization you want to. Our alums are present almost everywhere. So when I talk about Asian Paints, you talk about Tata Consumer Product Limited, or you talk about Varun Beverages, or you talk about Sonata. So we have got alums from different batches and different organizations and different domains. So we leverage this alumni network for the knowledge transfer. So these alums they come for guest lectures. These alums they come for the student alum interaction which we had just yesterday with the 1999 batch. So during these interactions, the students they get an opportunity to ask the actual doubts, and people who have seen the industry over the last 25 years, they are in a much better position to clear those doubts, to actually give impactful solutions to those problems.
So if we start talking about the alumni network, the alums that we've got, we could do like an hour or two of presentation regarding that only. So we'll cover some of the alums here only, right? And now coming to the most important section, which is regarding the timeline of the application process. What is the timeline in which you need to fill the application form, in which you need to pay the fees, right? The correction window. So this is the timeline, and I'll read it to you. So the online submission of application form through the website, which is appln.tis.edu, will be going on from 9th November to 9th December, and the last date to submit the application fees is 9 December 2024. On the same day, you will have to make the payment. This is the deadline to make the payment as well. And the correction window will be open from 10th December to 12th December. And then for the first round of interview, the shortlisting will be announced on 10th February to 2025, that is next year. And the detailed application form, the DAFs, will be open from 19th February to 21st February. And the online personal interview will be scheduled between 20th, 25th February and 12th March of 2025. And then the final merit list will be announced on 4th April 2025. Now, I want you guys to know that these are tentative dates only, and they might change, but this is what the official timeline is as for now.
Right, since a lot of you are asking about the cutoffs or the, like to per se like minimum cat percentile for the initial shortlisting. So when I talk about the general category, we have got 60, 60, 60, which is across the VA section, the DILR section, and the QA section. That is the quantitative section. So and the overall percentile should be 70. And subsequently for the OBC category, we have got 54, 54, 54, and overall being the 63 wins. When I talk about the SC and ST category, we have got 45, 45, 45, and overall being the 55 win. So I just want to clear one more thing, that these are the minimum CAT percentile that you need even to be considered. So if I'm talking about that, say if a person is getting 72 percentile, yes, he or she will be in the process, or he or she will be in the race of at least getting considered for the personal interview part, right? There are other factors which will be at play eventually, which we will cover in the next slide. And yes, so these are basically the minimum CAT percentile which you should keep in mind, and we are just waiting for the CAT results.
So now I'll discuss the criteria that is there for selection. So for the first round of shortlisting, which is for the online interview, you will have CAT score with a weightage of 95% and a 5% weightage for gender diversity. So females and people from other genders will have a 5% advantage, I guess. No, it will not be an advantage, but you will find some advantage. So that will be the weightage that will be there for gender diversity. Then for the final merit list, we've got a weightage of 70% to CAT score, 20% to the online interview that will be scheduled, and 10% for graduation marks. Again, the graduation marks, we have subcategorized all the bachelor degrees in six sections, and you will be marked accordingly. So someone who has scored 70% in MBBS might score a different mark in comparison to someone who's got 70% say in BTech or BSc. So in order to get that information, you'll have to refer to the official website, or maybe you can reach out to the Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee, and we will help you with that, right? So that was all as far as the aspirants, as far as the presentation is concerned. And these are some of our channels that you can follow to reach out to us. We've got our Facebook handle here, LinkedIn, X, and then we've got Pagal Guy and YouTube and Instagram. So you can reach out to us, and we'll make sure that we try to help as many people as we can, as we do every year. And we also have initiatives regarding the PI process that we'll be doing in a few months or so. We try our best to help as many students as possible to smoothen their journey in order to join the TISS HRM and LR program. So yeah, thank you very much. We wish you the best from the batch of 23-25 as well as 24-26. Now, some of the questions that we have received through our Google Forms that we floated, we would like to discuss some of those questions, right? Yeah. So we'll be taking these questions one by one.
Right. So the first thing is, do students go for exchange program? Yes, there is a provision for exchange program when we talk about, but we would like you to refer to the website, or maybe reach to the Aspirant Relations and Branding Committee if you have any specific doubt relating to the exchange program.
Yeah. So the second question is, my question is, what expected percentile in CAT we should have to get into this HR category wise, and what is fees for 2-year program? So as far as the CAT percentile expected percentile is required, so we are taking CAT for the first time. So nobody's sure what will be the expected cutoff, or what minimum you should score in order to get here. But the thing is, try to maximize your score, but that is again something you can't do right now. And that will again depend on a lot of factors, not only what you have scored, but what other people have scored who are applying for the TISS program, HRM and LR programs. It will depend on those things as well. Then there's the category thing. So we are not sure. We cannot comment on that. What will be the minimum percentile that you need? So yeah.
Right. So the next question we have is that, is it worth? Well, this is a very broad question if we want to, put it in words. So when I talk from the perspective of worth, the first thing is from the financial perspective, we have got the best ROI, right? If we leave apart the ROI, or if we sideline it, the another thing is the education which you will be getting over here, right? So we have got faculties who have got academia as well as corporate or industry experience of say 20-25 years. Say so they know how things work down there. So if we are having faculties of such great or like immense knowledge, they are able to impart that knowledge, and it eventually makes you a better HR leader. Also, the other thing is that it's not limited to the HRM and LR program. You have got faculties from other courses, you have got students from other courses where you can interact with them, where you can understand what are the problems they face. How well you can relate those courses back into the HR. Because in today's world, HR is not just about staffing, or maybe relating to the more as it used to be earlier. An HR has to be have an overall organization perspective. They should understand the pulse of people. So to get all of those, you need an understanding of various different aspects. And this very well excels in all of this. So in one word, yes, it is definitely worth.
Yeah. So coming to the next question, it says, so we've got specifics here from Ritik. So he says we've got 82% in 10, and he's got 70% in 12s. And so he basically wants to know whether he has got any chance. So see, Ritik, as long as you meet the basic criteria that is there, you clear the cutoffs, sectional cutoffs, and the overall cutoffs, you will be eligible and you will be considered for further rounds. So do not take a lot of stress, right? Let the results come out, see where you stand, and depending on that, we will see how it goes. Best of luck, Ritik.
So the next question, it has been basically given in two parts. The first thing is what would be a good percentile, and what the expected scores for the next year be based on the scores as of this year. So for both of these answers, I guess we have like Arijeet has already given the the answer to it, that we are not in the position as of now to comment on it. Is taking CAT scores for the first time. What's going to happen next year, whether it will be dependent on this year or not, even that part has is very subjective. So we would like to just not lose on any chance. If you feel that you
Yes.
have a good chance, go for it. Until and unless you get the final merit list, don't consider yourself out of the race. Give it a shot, and then it's like whatever is best for you, you will eventually get it.
Yeah. Now, the next question, how does the academic point system work for the candidates UG colleges? So, we've got six criterias this year, sub criterias, in which we have divided all the academic degrees in six sections, AC1 to AC6. And depending on where you stand as an individual, what kind of degree you've got in your UG, you will be marked. So, to get more specifics regarding this, I will suggest you to refer to the website, right? And maybe we will put a post regarding this on how to assess where you stand regarding how much marks you will get. So yeah, that is that.
Right. So, are there any changes for a person?
Yeah.
Are there any chances for a person, sorry, who has got 85% Tyler in CAT, gets selected in this MA HRM LR program? Again, this is very subjective. It entirely depends on how many number of applications we are receiving. What are the quality of those applications? Because the calls, if we talk about in the last couple of years, the calls have been in a ratio of 1:10,
Yeah.
right? So eventually it comes down to the application base we receive. So we cannot comment positively or negatively whether 85 percentile would be a good shot or not. We would just like to wish you all the best, and please give it a shot if you feel like.
Okay, now coming to the next question, what makes the TISS HRM and LR program equivalent to the general MBA in HR management offered by IIMs around the country? So, see, this is not like a comparison between A and B. Uh, an individual IIM will provide you an MBA in HR if it is regarding HR. So, that will be a master's in business administration. We have got a program that says MA in HRM and LR. So, we've got components that includes not only HR, we've got components from, say, social sciences. So it is very different from what an IM will offer you. And like I said, we've got field works. So we get exposure 4 times in 2 years, right? Then we do an NGO stint. So it is very social science oriented kind of program. And if we talk about the ROI, so the ROI is definitely better, I would say. But that is not the only thing that we bank upon. That is not something only that should be a motivating factor to join. If you believe that you are an individual whose aspirations and dreams align with the course that we have to offer, you should definitely put this HRM and LR above any HR program that is being offered in the country. And the next part of this question says, how do I prepare myself for the GD and PI rounds of TISS? Sai Prasanna Swayan, there is no GD this year. There will be no group discussion. Only an online personal interview will be there in order to assess whether you are the right fit for this course or not. So, in order to prepare people for PI, we will be having initiatives. The Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee will have initiatives which will help you through the PI round. Meanwhile, if you have got any queries regarding to PI, if you face any other difficulties, you can message us. You can text us on Instagram or LinkedIn, or you can maybe reach out to us personally as well, and we will try and help you with those queries.
Right. So the next question is a little big, but if to summarize, it's basically asking about whether the gap years will affect your chances of getting into this. One word answer is no. No, but with a condition. It actually depends on how well you utilized your gap years, how well you are able to craft your story, what happened during those gap years, what decisions that you took on those gap years, what you did actually, how well it connects to who you are currently, how well it connects to your decision of pursuing the HRM and LR program. If you are able to derive the story out of it, and if you are able to convince the panelists that yes, eventually these gap years have profoundly impacted me in a positive way of who I am today, you're having a definitely a good shot, because I have got an year a gap. Arijeet has got 2 years
Yeah.
of gap. We have got, our batchmates having 4 or 5 years of gap. So, gap is definitely not the barrier to your admission into this.
Now, okay. Okay, so the next question says, I'm in final year bachelor. I'm in final year of my bachelor's degree, but I want to know more about the HRM and LR program it is. So, in order to know more, I would suggest you to refer to the official website. We've got information there. In addition to that, the Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee has a lot of initiatives that we help people to know more about our program. And if you are active on social media, you'll find our channel doing a lot of things. undertake a lot of initiatives to, make people aware of the program, its benefits. So you should follow us definitely. And yeah.
The next question is having actually three parts. The first is the percentile pass. Percentile part, we have addressed it earlier that we are not in the position to answer, maybe give you a definite answer to that particular thing. However, the placements for HRM course, we would like to keep that decision on you. You can refer to the LinkedIn post of our placement committee. You can look how well the placements are, how well it's going, and it will be always going. The next part is, can you tell us the dark side of HRM course? Well, to talk about dark side is that you will have to hustle. You cannot expect that if you are in a tier one college, if you are if you are getting admitted to a flagship course, everything will come just running after you. You will have to work hard for it. You will have to. It's not just the hustle before test, but it's also the hustle after getting into the test. So get that hardworking culture inside you. So that is one thing, because the coursework has been designed so rigorously that eventually you will get accustomed to it. You will get accustomed to the efforts and the hardworking aspect of the course.
Yeah. So the next question says, do you have complete statistics of placements of 23-24? Can we get the PDF? So as the Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee, this information doesn't come under our purview. I will suggest you to refer to the official figures that are put out by the placement committee of our program. And they work really hard. The faculty works really hard. Our alumni network work really hard in order to achieve those figures. So that is something I would suggest you to do regarding this question.
Right. So now we will be taking up
That is
the
all.
questions which we are getting from the live chat. We will start right from the beginning, and any question which we find the most burning one, we will take up and we will try to address it.
Yeah.
So it's like the first, most of the questions they relate to minimum percentile, and then there's this 989 profile, and having 39 months of work ex. Eventually, it actually comes down to your personal interview as well as your cards for an academics course. So it's a very subjective. If you feel that your profile is really good to have a good shot, please go for it. As I said earlier, that till the time you get the final shortlist, please don't consider yourself out of the race. Give it a shot. It's a very good program. It's one of the best HR programs you will find in the entire Asia Pacific region. So please don't miss out on any chance.
Okay, so the next question is, will TISS College consider below the minimum cutoff scores if it does not fill its seats? So no, we will not be considering people who fall below the minimum cutoff criteria just to fill the seats. So that is the minimum that you need in order to qualify for the TISS HRM and LR program. I hope that answers your question.
A lot of questions also revolve around the cutoff for different categories. We also mentioned them in our presentation, as well as you can also find them on our website. So if you find any doubt or any discrepancy regarding it, you can anytime reach out to the Aspirant Relations and Branding Committee.
So what is the reservation policy for? So reservation, we've got seats reserved for the SC/ST community, for people belonging to the NCOBC category, and we have got seats reserved for Kashmiri migrants, people of wards of armed forces individuals, and the economically weaker section people. So those are the criteria that we have as far as reservation is concerned.
Right. So one of the questions also want to address that, will this accept CUAT PG for MA HRM 2025? We also got this question in like through our Google Forms as well. We cannot predict what's going to happen next year. Earlier it was TISSNet, then it went from CUAT, and then it's again CAT. So we really hope that we get a good experience, and we continue this initiative of taking the CAT scores, but basing what's going to happen next year on what's happening today is something which we would advise not to do. We would like to just focus right now on the present, and please give it your best shot.
Okay, so the next question is there any benefit for people with work experience? So unlike other colleges, we do not provide weightage, extra added advantage to people with work experience. So it will not help you directly during the admission process. But one thing I would like to say, since I haven't got gotten any work experience, but I've seen people with work experience. They have this, corporate exposure. They have this knowledge of their domain. So you can maybe leverage that information that you have, that knowledge that you have during the process of this HRM and LR admission process. Yeah, that will be all. But we do not give any direct advantage to people with work experience.
Right. Similar to that question, one of the questions also asks, because gem fresher minimum percentile required. There's no particular gem fresher thing. We have got the general category cutoffs, we have got the further categories cutoffs, sectional as well as the overall. So, as we said that, WorkX is not having a tangible impact. Say for example that the academic scores have got 10% weightage. It's not that the WorkX will be having something tangible contribution to your the final composite score. Similarly for the freshers, eventually how well you craft your story is what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, so Shreyanshu is asking about the rural immersion part, which is there in the curriculum. So the rural immersion program basically provides us an NGO related stint, which is there for a duration of 1 month. And the main aim of that particular stint is to give you experience of the social world, right? How different societies work, what problems the society is facing, right? And it is, since it is rural immersion program, we will be most probably sent to a rural setup where we will have to discuss and identify the challenges that are there in the rural world. We'll have to make reports regarding that. We'll have to submit our reports, and then assessment will be done regarding on the basis of those reports. So that is, in a nutshell, what is there in the rural immersion program.
Right. One of the questions we would like to address is that how many students will be called for the interview? What is the ratio? Is it 1:10? If you take the stats of last couple of years, when you talk about TISS, the interview and the GD process, yes, we have observed this trend of 1:10. So we are hoping that this trend will also be continued this year. And the other part of the question is, does clearing the cutoff means you will be called for next round? No, it does not mean that. It's like having just like clearing the cutoff, like clearing the minimum cutoff. You will be called for the interview. You will be considered for it. Is what we mean to say. There are a lot of factors at play. In one of our slides, we also mentioned that the 95% will be weightage will be given to the CAT scores and 5% will be given to the gender diversity. So, we would highly suggest that, please don't keep a notion that, if I'm having 72 percentile or if I'm having 99 percentile, any of the percentiles, will be having an added weightage over each other. No, that won't be the case. Everyone will be considered, whosoever is above the minimum cutoff criteria will be in the race of the consideration for the personal interview round. So please, don't have this pre-notion that I won't be considered at 72. No, that won't be the case.
And another question is regarding the intake. So, what is the intake? So, the official intake is of 60 students. We are accepting 60 students every year. But in addition to that, we have got reservations for SCST and OBC, Kashmiri migrants, EWS, and Armed Forces category. So, the total intake is 60. But as per the Government of India reservation policies, we will have seats reserved for individuals coming from those categories.
Right. So one of the question also asked basically is that I just studied in my 2 years gap and sometimes help at my family shop in a town. Can this be a justifiable answer? Now people do a lot of things in their gap years. They have got a lot of justifications for their gap years. Again, we go back to the same thing. How well you are able to craft the story, what you actually did on those gap years, irrespective of whatever you did. If you are able to relate, or maybe if you are able to relate what you did in the gap years, it's like how well you are able to craft your story related to the decision of pursuing HRM and LR, or to how it developed you as a person. And if you are able to convince the panelist, you are definitely having a good shot. So please don't think that in my gap years I did this. So whether this will be relevant or not. At the end of the day, it again comes down how well you are able to present yourself in front of the panel.
So next question is by Sai Krishna, who asks, "What is the median package of the batch for HRM?" So, like we mentioned in the presentation, so to have any official, we do not want any discrepancy in what we say and what is officially out there. So, in order to get the best facts before you, you will have to refer to the official figures that are put out there by the placement committee of HRM and LR. It is there on LinkedIn, and you will find basically the official figures are put there by uh, other educational articles through those articles as well. So you can refer to them.
Right. One of the questions we also received is in form I can't select my city where to reach out. You can reach out to any of the social media handles of the Aspirant Relations and Branding Committee, and we would love to help you out in this.
Okay, so the next question is, will TISS accept ZAT score or any other exam than CAT? No. Pulkit will not be, TISS HRM and LR will not be accepting any other score. Only CAT scores will be accepted this year. But for other programs, we've got three programs which will be for which we will be accepting through CAT: the HRM and LR, the MHA, and the OTCL program. Other than these three programs, CUET PG will be accepted.
We have got a question from Naka. I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly. How strict are sectional cutoffs? Any chance of they if they are not met? Basically, sectional cutoffs are strict, no doubt about it. Because the thing is that eventually we will have to filter the candidates on some or the other level. So if we are keeping some criteria flexible, we won't be able to move forward to the further rounds. So yes, the sectional cutoffs as well as the overall cutoffs are strict.
Okay, Muskan has a question which goes like, student converted with the least percentile in the recent batch. So the recent batch was not accepted through CAT, Muskan. We appeared for CUET PG, right? So CAT wasn't there. So sorry for not being able to answer that question.
Right. One of the questions we have got is we have received from Adarsh is any information for the business analytics program. Adarsh, we are not authorized to tell you about business analytics program. I guess you will have to reach to the ARC or maybe any relevant person from the business analytics program.
Yeah.
They will be in a better position to answer all of your queries.
Next question is regarding hostel facilities. So yes, this provides hostel facilities to the students, but there is an income criteria that is there in order to avail the hostel facilities. So if you meet those hostel facility criteria, you will be given the hostel facilities, and it kind of changes every year. So you will have to keep an eye out in order to assess what is the criteria for a particular year.
Right. We are getting a repeated question asking how OBC candidates scored 65 raw score. Is there a chance of getting into TISS? Again, we have addressed this part earlier that it's very subjective. Only time will tell. It will depend upon the application base we are receiving. What will be the cutoffs for respective categories? But we would still again wish you the very best, and we would like to highly suggest you that please don't consider yourself out of the race till the shortlist comes. So if you feel, you can definitely give it a shot.
Yeah. So one question was there. Can I get a call at 96 percentile? So you've got a decent overall percentile, and if you clear the sectional cutoffs, you will definitely be considered for the further rounds.
Yep. Is there any question we can find more?
Okay. One question is regarding the form fill up. In form, I can't select my city. Where to reach out?
Exactly.
Okay, so in that case, Lakshya, you will have to reach out to the official admission desk, right? The email is there on the website, or maybe if you want to have a more personal address to this question, you can reach out to the Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee, and we will provide more information to you regarding this particular issue that you are facing.
Right. So we have got another question asking which programs would TISS accept via CUET? Are they worth going for, especially in terms of placements? See, we are the Aspirant Relations and Branding Committee of the HRM and LR program. Earlier, we got a question regarding the business analytics also. Now, talking about other programs, won't be a good stuff, especially on a public forum. Talking about in terms of placements, every course has got their placements on official channels. You can go through them. You can make your own decision. And which programs would accept this except via CUET. Apart from three programs, the HRM and LR program, the MHA program, and the one another program. Apart from these three programs, all the other courses will be done via CUET. For more information, you can definitely refer to our website.
Yeah. We have more questions.
Yeah, we have got one more question that do you get any stipend or TA from fieldwork also? No, Shriyanshu.
No, but
Other
that depends on the
fieldworks.
organization.
It also depends upon the organizations, but in most of the organizations, no. Because, when we talk about fieldwork, those are mostly related for your practical
Yes,
learning.
yes.
We don't go after, having stipend in everywhere we work. So it's like in field work because it's of a 1 month field work, right? You go over there, you implement whatever you have learned in the class. Say, for example, if you have learned any motivational theory in your organization behavior, how those motivation theories it actually plays around in an actual setup is what we look for. So, currently we are also having our field work, the first field work going on, and we are having multiple projects which we are working.
Yes.
We are contacting our seniors, we are contacting our the faculties, and this entire learning experience is what the main essence of the field work, right? So no, particularly we don't receive any this like stipend or something out of field work.
Yeah. So this someone is asking for the seat matrix. So what is the intake category wise? So we've got, like I said, 60 official seats we have for this program, and the reservations are as follows: 50% of the total seats are reserved for scheduled castes, 7.5% for scheduled tribes, 27% for OBC NC, 10% for economically weaker sections, and in addition to that, we've got supernumerary seats which will be reserved for people coming from the PWD category, which is persons with disabilities. And we have seats reserved for Kashmiri migrants. And one more is there, which is for the wards of armed forces. So students who are, students who are the wards of armed forces personnel, so they will be eligible for those supernumerary seats.
We have got two more questions that when asking that I hope there's no bias for Maharashtrians like JBMS. Is that right? Yes, it's absolutely right. We don't have any bias. And the other question which we have received is MAHRM considered equivalent to MBA in corporate sector? Yes, definitely. It is considered equivalent. It is considered to be at par with an MBA in HR. And you won't find any discrepancy whenever you land in corporate sector. In fact, TISS has got its own brand name, and it's like whenever we talk about this, we talk about holistic development. So yes, it is considered equivalent to an MBA in corporate sector.
Okay, so Janvi has a question which says, "What is the admission process after applying to TISS, like GD or PI or both?" So after you fill the form, which is there on the official website, you will be shortlisted for the online PI. There is no GD this year. Previously, we used to have GDs, but this year there is no GD. So online PI will be there, and then there will be the final shortlisting. So I hope that clears your question, Janvi.
Can
Yes,
you
Priyansh.
tell about SIP and does people get into tasks from this program? We have got the placement statistics via the placement committee on
Yeah.
official channels. You can refer to the frequent recruiters and anything related to the summer placement process.
Shriyanshu has a question. Do you get off days from regular classes for reporting to fieldwork organization? So our fieldworks happen generally, sorry, after our classes are over. So after our semester is done, we will have fieldwork. So that is the process. So we definitely get time to attend the fieldwork, and there is no, like our academics do not hamper our fieldwork thing, and our fieldwork thing doesn't hamper our academics. We have to strike the right balance between both of those things, because both of those things are really necessary for the all-around development of any individual.
So we have received a question from Amit that I had no work ex in HR field. How to get the idea whether I can add value and will it be a better to HR instead of other programs? See, it's not necessary to have work ex in HR to understand whether you are a good fit for HR or not. HR when we talk about it's definitely people centric. So since you might be having work ex or maybe a fresher, I'm not really sure of it, but anytime during your life you might have had a people management experience, right? How well you were able to do it, or maybe anything apart from it, how well you feel around people, whether you can manage them, or maybe when you talk about people, whether you are good at it or not, you can talk about those experiences. It's like just reflect upon your life, whether you can find any particular instance from your journey which can relate to HR. I think you can craft around it and you can definitely present it in a very good way. And if you feel that yes, if this instance is one of the major reasons why I can apply to HR, please you can go forward with it.
Question: fest culture is there or not? So definitely we've got a fest culture. We've got events that are organized by the HRM and LR forum, right? We've got Manthan. Then we've got events which are organized by the alumni committee. In fact, just yesterday we had an event in which uh, our alumni were there and we celebrated kind of fest, I would say. Anshul would be in a better position to talk about that since he's from the alumni relations committee, right? So we definitely have a culture of fest. We enjoy, we celebrate everything, not just the fests that are there, even the festivals that are there, right? We celebrate all of those together. So it
Right.
is great.
It's a very lively experience. Adding on to what Arijeet said is that we have got two campuses, the old campus as well as the new campus. So both campuses, they have got their own essence. You will always find that something or the other happening around in the campus. Maybe if someone is putting up some stalls, someone is having a flash mob or something. We have got cultural fest called Manthan, which happens every year in the month of Feb. So it's a very enriching experience. It's not just that the academics and field works and all. Along the way, you will also enjoy that the masters or the academic life, because probably after this you will be directly stepping into corporate. So we try to ensure that it's not just the boring or the mundane life. It is also very happening, lively experience which you will find over here.
So Janvi has another question. Any tips to learn and prepare in order to ace the PI? So, like I said previously, that in order to help you with the PI process, we will have initiatives. The ARC will have initiatives which will help you with the PI process, and we will soon let you know what all those initiatives are. Right, like our senior batch had done similar initiatives. We will try to do something better maybe, but there will be initiatives definitely, and we will definitely try and help as many people as we can in order to smoothen their journey to join the TISS HRM and LR program.
Right, we will take two last questions. The first question being, what about accommodation? It has been answered earlier that we have got hostel facilities, but there's an income cap. There are particular criteria that you need to fit in to be eligible to get the hostel. Otherwise, we have got rented flats, we have got PGs around the campus. You can definitely avail those facilities as well, Muskan.
Okay. The last question we would like to take is boys. Okay. So I think that should do the work.
I think, yeah, that should do.
That should do, yeah. So thank you everyone for joining in. That was all from our side. And just keep in touch with the Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee. We will be having initiatives that will help you guys in your journey in order to smoothen your journey to make it to the TISS HRM and LR program. Thank you very much for joining in. If you have any more queries, you can reach out to maybe Anshul or me personally as well. And definitely the Aspirants Relations and Branding Committee is always there. We are always there to help you. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. All the best. Give it your best shot, and we hope to see you soon.
Yeah.